Hello. Once more I find myself in quite an interesting position on the cusp of a very interesting few days. So tomorrow I'm going to go into the wild for 4 nights and do a kind of solitary vision quest, which is I guess a solo retreat where I'm going to go find a place in nature and set up there and stay there for 4 nights and not really move from where I set up or read anything, consume anything, use any kind of phone, check the time, that kind of thing. I won't eat. I have some water. Yeah. This is something which I've been wanting to do for a while. When I went on a session, which is this kind of Zen meditation retreat, in December last year, it was an amazing retreat. I was with a lot of people, and something about it felt a little kind of formulaic, or I was wasn't on my terms. Wasn't so close to nature. Felt a little institutional, And on that retreat, within the silence, I had these flickers of what was next for me, the next really big thing, and that was to do to really spend some extended time alone, in nature. And so here I am. And what I'm so glad about is that I'm actually doing it. And I know it sounds weird, because if you discover that you want to do something, obviously it's why don't you do it? But so many people, me. I suspect this is true for a lot of other people. They think, oh yeah, it would be amazing if I just did that. Why didn't you just do it? Do it. And I can really say that for myself. It's about so many things all the time. But I'm so glad this is the thing that I really I can't think of anything that my kind of soul is crying out for more than to do this. I'm feeling a little bit tired at the moment, a little bit like, oh God, I've been I have holidays here or there, but I've been working like in the thick of the corporate world for some years now, and it takes a bit of a toll. So do you want to take a little sneaky peek at what I'm taking with me? Just packed my bag, which was quite a wow kind of moment. This is everything I'm going to take with me for the next 4 days. So here goes. By the way, you will have to forgive me if I miss, because I'm going to be turning the camera around and I can't actually see what my camera's pointing at. So, as well as what I'm going to be wearing tomorrow, it's just, some like tracksuit bottoms, t-shirt, and a hoodie and whatnot. So I've got a little pop-up tent, sleeping bag, my bag, a waterproof jacket, or I suppose it's like an inner hoodie with a kind of semi-waterproof thing over the top. The weather forecast is actually quite good. I'm quite happy. I've got with me some undergarments, David Gandy range M&S. Cheers, mum. Super comfy. This is for sleeping in if I get cold at night, because I'm not going to be lighting fires or anything like that. I've got a neck warmer just in case I get a bit cold. Little shoes. So the shoes of choice are going to be these little Blitz, my little martial arts shoes, which are basically like waterproof feet. They're awesome, I love them. A couple of water bottles, which I'll fill up, some loo roll, spare phone charger in case of emergencies, some contact lenses, torch, sun cream, pillow, book to write in. And then I think for the last day when I emerge, I've got a change of clothing. So I've got I've got some warm socks for at night. So change of clothing. So I've got some tracksuit bottoms, a jumper, a t-shirt, socks, and boxers. And I also brought a bit of Palo Santo, some wood to burn, and a lighter. That would be to mark the beginning and the end of this ceremony. That's it. Why don't we talk through some notable omissions from my equipment list. One is food. Next, any kind of, toiletries, toothbrush, toothpaste, soap, shower gel, hair wax, all that kind of stuff. No, anything, any kind of thing to put inside me, to consume. Nothing electric, nothing to read. I will take my phone just so that I can get there and back. I will be taking my bike. I'll be cycling into the woods to try and find somewhere, a good place, a good spot to stay in. I think that's it. That's it. So, I thought about in preparation for this, and I asked my friend Susanna, who's done quite a few of these vision quests. She recommends doing preparation. She sent me this kind of list of questions about intention setting and that kind of thing. And I've done quite a lot of intention setting before, and I thought about it with this. And I think this is probably the time I've done it kind of most sincerely. And for me, setting intentions doesn't really feel right. Because to me, it seems like to set an intention is to say, okay, this is what I want to get guidance on, this is what I want to happen, this is what I want an answer to. And I don't know, for me it reeks of this quality of wanting to kind of achieve some kind of result, to play God, to dictate the terms of what's going to happen. It stops you being wholly open to each moment, I think. Yeah. Because if you're thinking, okay, I want to do this, then I don't want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to get clear on this, then it stops all the other amazing things that can happen from happening. And in my experience, the most amazing things that happen are always the most unexpected things, really. And nature's intelligence is is so infinitely more impressive than my own. Who am I to say what result I want to achieve? It seems ridiculous. I guess all I ever want to do, and want's a bit of a dirty word in this context, but all that I think is happening here is increase harmony with nature. An openness and aliveness to the moment, to myself, to how I can let go, surrender, rather than what can I get clear on? Also, I find the idea of getting answers to your problems I don't like it. It feels dirty. It's like I've got an answer to my problems. Answers sound rigid to me. That it seems like... Oh, I should add one more thing that I'm taking with me is the meditation cushion that I'm sitting on right now. Anyway, answers, it's like, this is the answer, so this is how I'm going to behave now. When you have an answer that means that that's how you're going to behave, that's what you're going to do, that limits you. It's almost like it permits some kind of a little bit of laziness rather than openness to the potential to change in each moment. And I think maybe this is something which is specific to me, or particularly screams true for me, because I think perhaps my constitution is naturally a little more on the kind of yang side, the hard, rigid rules, do this, that way, this is right, And so for me, going further in that direction, it's like, oh God, do I want to go, really? And what my soul kind of really cries out for is the more yin, the surrendering to the way, and that's everything that I've been moving towards in how I write, talk, meditate, dance, Alexander technique, cook, everything. That's what feels right to me. So I can't say that I have like an intention or something I want to get clear about. I mean, I think by looking at myself, some things will start to, I don't want to say fall into place, because that means it may sound as if the answers can be clear, but it will become clear to me which things I've been maybe avoiding, or I haven't been true to myself with. I have a suspicion about what those things might be. For example, my relationship with food a little. What to do with myself in terms of exercise, like how to kind of usefully express my aggression without doing weights, which has been so helpful for funneling my aggression, but also comes with its downsides of tension and what have you. What else? I suppose my relationship with people, how some of the little look into some of my patterns with people in terms of my aversion to attachment. These are all, I guess these are all the obvious recurring problems in my life. Not problems, but the recurring patterns. I suppose the other one is my pattern of addiction, of kind of distracting myself with little obsessions or addictions, such as I've had with, I suppose the most recent ones have been cacao, which has been delicious and lovely in lots of ways, but also I've overdone it a bit. And the other one is a little less recently, but food, eating in a kind of way to intoxicate a little bit. So I guess, those are the areas of my life which are obviously ones where there are kind of strong patterns, but I don't think I'm looking at them as things that I want to solve. They're not like problems. Actually, what is a problem? I think in my understanding of things, I don't really think in terms of problems or things to solve. It doesn't make sense to me. There are just patterns, and there aren't things. It's not like what is a problem? It's just an idea. It's just nothing. It's nothing. We have patterns, but not good or bad. It's only resistance to patterns or greed with them that causes, that is itself the tension and resistance, and that might cause harm. So I suppose just the more you understand that, the more it's just this resistance to things just melts away. And this is happening with me. My patterns are sort of, I'm still doing some of the same things, but it's not so much of a kind of beating myself up about things or anything. Yeah, it's lessening quite significantly. Yeah. I suppose, and similarly, what are people say, like, what are the things that are not serving you and that you want to let go of? Again, I can't really do that without my heart in some way hurting. Because to say, okay, I've got this thing, this pattern, this thing that I want to let go of, I find it almost impossible to do that without implying that thing is bad. Same with saying, what are you looking to invite into your life? I do think it's pretty much impossible to do that without saying, I want this, I don't want that, this is good, this is bad. And for someone like me who's quite, like strong-willed and stuff, and has been like, okay, in the past, like, right, I'm aiming for this, I'm going to fucking go for this. And I've been doing that so strongly again and again and again, to be like, okay, this is what I'm looking to let go of, this is what I'm looking to invite in, it's again, this starts something which is not, it doesn't balance me. It's not right for me. Yeah, the only thing that's, I think, healthy for me is just surrender. Yeah, and that's it. So when I'm going into this, it's not like I'm not fearing difficulty, or I'm sure maybe it will get a little bit difficult at times, but I'm not. When was the last time I was really afraid of something? You know what I mean? You just always go with it. It's just every moment. It's just you. With this kind of my approach from Zen and Taoism. I don't want to say approach from Zen and Taoism because that makes it sound like I've got some kind of tactic that I'm employing. But with the way I think about things, the way I look at the world, it's like, it's just every moment. If you just don't resist that, then the moment is just what it is, and then you don't resist it, and that's fine. So there's nothing ever to be afraid of. There's nothing. It's just a situation. Each moment is just a moment. Difficulty is just an idea. It's a struggle with that moment, and you can just not struggle. Maybe easier said than done. Let's see in a few days, I am looking forward to the next video. See you on the other side.